Hey everybody, Vivian here with a video tutorial for you I've prepared for Sizzix. Today I wanted to share with you some love for our Susan's Garden collection. I have a toolkit from Susan's Garden. These are all designed by Susan Tierney Coburn. This is 658437, and I just wanted to share with you what comes in the toolkit. You get a nice sturdy little pair of scissors with some nice rubber handles so they're easy on the hands. You get a pair of fine tweezers like this. That's very helpful for picking up tiny pieces and for creating folds and curves on the edges of your petals. Here you have a stylus with a medium head on one end and a larger round head on the other end. And here you have a loop tool that's also very helpful for creating shape in your leaves and petals. And then you have another stylus here. One comes with a very sharp tip on one end and a very fine ball on the other end. So this is very useful to have if you're interested in making any of the handmade flowers available from Sizzix's Susan's Garden collection. That's a leaf mat, and here you have a nonstick mat. And this is our molding mat. So this is going to be used quite a bit to create shape in leaves and petals. I have a set of wafer-thin dies, framelit dies from Susan's Garden. This is number 658419, and that tiny disc there, that metal disc, will help create violets. And those are some very small leaves there. And I'm going to use the dies that come in this set to create some pansies. So you have the Calyx, which is that 5-tipped star, and some leaves. And then here are how the petals would be arranged in the pansy in nature. I like using my magnetic platform to cut these, because it's very easy to keep those dies in place when you use this tool that's available from Sizzix. When I saw this flower pansy violet die set available from Susan's Garden's collection from Sizzix, I knew that it was going to be the first one that I wanted to acquire. They are really such happy blossoms, and they're appropriate to use in the colder months because they're actually quite content in nature when the weather's just a little bit chilly. And I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they come in so many different colors, and they actually have patterns on them, splotches of color, that make them look like happy faces. So they really are the happy makers of the flower world. So as you can see here, I used one of the ball styluses to just push down in the center of that calyx. And that calyx is just a wonderful piece in the die set, because that alone is essential in creating dimension in the flowers. I played around a lot with these dies, different cardstocks, different weights, different techniques, and so I learned through experience what works and what doesn't work. But the styluses are, the large stylus is great for just softening up the fibers, and I used the medium one to create more shape. Here I'm using that finest tipped stylus for the leaves on the leaf mat, and I'm creating some veins. You could go in with the tweezers if you so chose and create some soft bends on the lip of each leaf. Here I'm just using it to help me create some folds. So when I saw this pansy die set, I thought of those beautiful candied pansies that you see on wedding cakes and gourmet cupcakes. And I wanted to create a really sugared type of pansy for a paper crafted project. So I picked up some glitter, which I don't normally use. I do want to use more of it. I'm very interested in picking up some of those distressed glitters that are newly available from Tim Holtz. But for now, I used a very pretty white iridescent glitter. You could paint these petals. Susan has some videos on the Sizzix channel on YouTube where she uses pan pastels and Copic markers to create very realistic pansies. I wanted to create just a very frosted look, and I'm very interested in white these days. I don't know if you guys caught my mini album using Sizzix dies and embossing folders, but I posted that on my personal blog very recently. Here I'm just putting a little bit of glue with a foam brush onto the tops of each petal and leaf, and then dipping it into some of this white iridescent glitter. This particular glitter is from Doodlebug. So using the tools from Susan's Garden's toolkit, I was able to create some soft curves in these petals. And I'm going to show you now how to attach them to the calyx, which is just a great element in a lot of Susan's Garden's dies. She dips the tips of these petals into sort of white glue and then attaches them to the calyx. I'm very comfortable with my hot glue gun, and I don't know what happened, but I think maybe from using it so much, I don't experience any pain in the tips of my fingers when the hot glue touches it anymore. So, I prefer to use the hot glue because it dries much more quickly. And so those two medium-sized petals go on the top, and then the two smallest petals go on the sides. And then that upside down, largest heart-shaped petal is like the tongue that goes on the base. So that last piece that I'm adhering, I'll call it the tongue. I found that the other petals, I sort of had them all at about the same distance from the center of the calyx. The tongue, I pushed in just a little bit more, and I found that that helped me create a more natural-looking pansy. So here's my candied pansy, my sugar-dipped pansy. I decided to adhere an iridescent gem to the center of the pansy. I created two of those, and those are going to go, aren't these pretty? These are going to go on a card project, but I think they would be just fantastic as embellishments to make gift packaging just extra special, or as embellishments on home decor, something to adorn a picture frame. Here I'm using a Be Merry, a folder from the Be Merry embossing folder set from Brenda Walton. That's number 658749. This set is great because here you have this one embossing folder that's perfect for use throughout the year. And look at all the beautiful detail. I'm really excited about monochromatic right now, especially white. And I think that sometimes when you really limit color, if you're a texture fiend like I am, by limiting color, you can really draw attention to the texture. So I'm going to use this as a base for my card. I attached the two pansies to the card front and amassed a collection of buttons, some iridescent, some in some light pinks and with different levels of sheen from matte to gloss to sort of catch that iridescent feeling in the blossoms. And I also wrapped with some organza to also expand that feeling of iridescence throughout the card project. If you're not a glitter person, you don't like to handle glitter, it does make a bit of a mess. I just wanted to show you what it looks like using some glitter silk cardstock from Coordinations. This cardstock, it has that shimmer and it's embedded into the cardstock already, so you don't really have to handle the glitter. And I made two in a tan color and a baby blue color. I wanted to show you what the effect is when you add a little mixed media into the mix. I wanted to share especially how great that magnetic platform came into use for this particular blossom, because I was able to set each die on top of the portions of the watercolored paper that I wanted to use for my blossom and have it stay there. Here I'm using the loop tool just to create some more shape in the blossom. And here it is assembled. In nature, a lot of times these pansies have more brilliant or darker splotches of color in the center. And those sort of contribute to that look of a happy face. So I decided to just mist it once it was all assembled and add some stronger red color to the center of my blossom, which I think made a very dramatic difference. Once that was dry, I attached it to a grungier card project and actually added in some stamping with black and I've also applied a ink blending tool with black soot distress ink to make it just a little bit more grungy. And here you can see it close up. Here's the final card project. And you've seen me use this Sizzix embossing folder before in another video that I've prepared for you guys. But I thought this flower was pretty successful. It was pretty fun to put together too. Here's a close-up of some of the sugar-dipped pansies. And that pretty embossing, no ink whatsoever, pink organza, some buttons, a stamped banner. Those banners are really helpful if you're worried that you're going to make a mistake with your stamping, because you do it on a separate piece of cardstock and you don't have to worry about messing up your card project by having an imperfect impression. And here's the final card. I added in a little metallic ladybug from Momentum. That stamped sentiment is from Studio G, and I stamped that with a dye ink from Clear Snap. I hope you enjoyed my card project today, and that if you haven't yet, you will check out the beautiful die sets available from Susan's Garden. We have some really beautiful flowers that are special during the holidays that are going to be available really soon. There's a poinsettia, a helleborus, and you know, in the early spring you have your daffodils popping up. We've got some narcissus, and there are a lot of floral dyes available right now, including poppies and roses and daisies. So I hope you'll go check them out, and you'll also pick up the toolkit, which will be very helpful in crafting all of these beautiful paper crafted blossoms. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't got enough inspiration from me, please visit me on my website. That's www.contadinakay.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.